Okay, I'll let people in and start the video.
Yeah, great.
Connectra creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, Connect Together, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative, Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobbie Seale-Cobiskey, Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson, Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff, and other initiatives including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at Connectra Society.
Okay, Bobbie, you can start.
Hello, everyone. So welcome everyone to an adapted seated yoga practice. So for those of you who may be checking out the class for the first time, actually this just in, I just need it to move into my iPad a little bit to reset the viewfinder so that it's on gallery. So chair yoga, adapted seated yoga. So I'm referring to this seated because everything that we practice today will be done seated in the chair. And there are times moving forward that I may include the use of the chair standing if you'd like for balance. For those of you who are ambulatory that maybe have balance issues, but for today, seated only. And I think you'll be delighted to revisit or to discover for the first time how much we can actually do from a yoga perspective seated. And so with that happy idea in mind, I'd like to invite you to begin by finding a comfortable sitting position. So sit in a way that feels the most at ease to you. And so it can be challenging for our nervous system to calm down if we're uncomfortable in our chair. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to lift your shoulders up, back and down. And then to relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. Yeah, I'm just going to adjust my chair a little bit. Bumping into my plant. So as you can tell, I'm actually teaching outdoors in my backyard on my back deck. And this is the first time this year. So spring has sprung on the Sunshine Coast. And yes, in Vancouver, rumor has it. So love this time of year when everything is waking up, not falling asleep. And there's a little more light. The days are longer. So wherever you are, however, yoga meets us right where we are. So shoulders again, maybe just lifting our shoulders up, back and down. Soft, organic movement. So this isn't meant to be a big scrunch up towards our ears. We're just finding a comfortable sitting position. And then as ready, bring your hands to your chest, to your heart center. So this is sometimes referred to as our heart center. So it might be palms open or palms together. And so an invitation to take a moment to allow yourself to consciously enter into the present. Setting aside whatever concerns, worries you had before the yoga practice for the duration, knowing that you can come back to that after class. And then as ready, relax your arms wherever feels most comfortable for you. And we'll do a little wiggly fidget, so shake your hands. And so reaching up to the sky, so I'm gonna lift my hands fairly high to make sure everyone can see my hands. However, that said, if you have a heart condition, I'm going to invite you to keep your arms lower. So it has to do with blood flow. And so reaching up, if it feels okay for you, a little higher. And we can imagine that we're saying good day to our ancestors, past, present, and future. And then coming forward a little, if you'd like, waving to our ancestors. So quite often I think of Uncle George, my dog Bubbles, and then reaching up one more time if you'd like, and it's available to you. And so I love to share the story about the woman I had in my class for a few years. She lived to be well over 100 years old. We were doing this practice one day and she said, I feel like my ancestors are waving back. And so just like you're shaking water off your hands, let your arms slow down by your side. And then reaching up one more time, as high as feels comfortable for you. And this time on your exhale, making an audible sound. Ah. Woohoo. It's yoga time. I have students now who come to my classes and they just know it's yoga time is coming. And so let's repose. So I'd like to invite you to sit in a way now that you are supporting your own spine, if possible. If you need the back of the chair, a cushion, sometimes I'll put a rolled yoga mat along my spine. If you need support for your back, honor that. Okay, so yoga meets us exactly where we are. And then an invitation. So I'd like you to feel that you're sitting forward on your sits bones. So our sits bones, the bones we sit on. And so in a way, when we're practicing in the chair, our sits bones act like the feet of our pose. So you might do a little bum dance, maybe moving the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. Our spine is long, so lengthen your spine. Lift your shoulders up, back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. Chin in, parallel. So chin in slightly, parallel with the earth, the floor if you'd like. And if it's helpful, you can take a finger or two, place them on your chin and imagine a turtle. So if you'd like, close your eyes here. So allow your facial muscles to soften and release. So if you prefer, soften gaze, a soft gaze looking downwards, calming for our nervous system. And so notice the alignment of your knees, hips, ankles, shoulders over our hips. Notice the breath, allowing your breath to move the abdomen. And so if it's available to you and you would like, place one hand on your belly. On inhale, belly moves out. On exhale, belly moves in. Keeping one hand on your belly, take your other hand to your chest, your heart center. And maybe notice the pattern of movement between your breath, between your abdomen and your upper torso. And then see if you can begin to expand the breath. So making it just a little bit longer than it was when we began. And paying particular attention to the exhale, an invitation to see if you can lengthen your exhale. When we lengthen our exhale, it engages a relaxation response, allowing us to let go of holding, stress, and tension. So I'd like to encourage you, whenever possible, to bring your awareness back to this deep, long, easeful breath. And so as ready, bring your hands together, rub your palms together. And so if you have discomfort in your hands, maybe give your hands a little massage. And so good news, there's research now that shows that our hands are not only connected to our mind, but to our heart as well. So I'd like to invite you to explore with me placing your hands. I'll give you 3 choices for placement. So placing maybe your hands at your heart center, your chest, allowing your body to absorb that loving, healing energy from your hands. Or it might feel lovely to rest one hand on your lap, take the back of your hand and touch your cheek for me lightly. Open to receive. Alternatively, it might feel lovely to, and I'll turn around a little bit. So it might feel lovely to place your hands at the base of your skull and to press your head gently against your hands. So if you're a wheelchair user, you happen to have a headrest, it might feel really great to press your head against your headrest. Alternatively, if you're blessed with a yoga buddy, so I'm going to keep my hands at my heart center at the moment. Place yours wherever feels loveliest for you. So if you are blessed with a yoga buddy could perhaps place her hands at the back of your head, and you could press your head against their hands. And then moving on, rub your hands together again. And then take your hands apart a little, feeling a little warmth or heat between your hands. Maybe moving them a little further apart and then closer together. And now I'd like you to place your hands wherever you notice in your body you're holding stress or tension. And allow your body to absorb this loving energy from your hands. And even if you would like, you can imagine, we're not working in person. However, you can imagine that I am placing my hands wherever that might be, if that's helpful. And release. So wiggly fidgets, little shake on again. Woohoo. So be creative. Right? Woohoo. Move in your own time and rhythm. Little bum dance. Okay. So let's repose. Unfortunately, I have not set up so that you can see my feet today. However, work in progress. Hopefully next time we gather, that will be remedied. And for now, I'd like to invite you to ground through your feet. Center and ground through the soles of your feet. So we want to keep our connection with Mother Earth. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. Notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Lengthen your spine. Lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Relax your arms wherever feels most comfortable for you. Chin in, parallel to the floor. So from here, we'll come into a warm up. And so let's begin with our neck. So an invitation to gently bring your chin towards your chest, towards your heart. So it might be that if that doesn't feel good for your neck, that you move your eyes downward towards the earth. And then as ready, looking up. So gentle movement, maybe your eyes meet where the ceiling meets the wall. And so an invitation to keep this gentle movement flowing. So warming up our cervical spine. And then as ready, bring your head back to neutral. And then take one ear towards your shoulder. And then move from side to side. So if it feels good, you place a hand on the outside of your head. Up to you. I'm going to choose just to do the neck movements without my hand on my head. And then as ready, bring your head back to neutral. And then turn a soft gaze, looking just past your shoulder. So only move your head, your neck as far as feels comfortable for you. And then as if nodding no, turn your head from side to side. So nodding no. You notice how it feels to tuck your chin in slightly. So imagine a turtle. And then as ready, bring your head back to neutral. So we've moved our neck through its range. And so gentle reminder that if anything that I share with you today doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel comfortable, one option is to skip it and come back to your breath. So if we're focused on our breath, we're practicing yoga. Alternatively, it might be that you visualize the movement. So imagination is powerful. So that might be a lovely starting point. So you might be able to do one or two of the neck movements, the other, not so much, right? So you are the world expert on your body, and I will do my best to guide you. And so I trust that you're practicing yoga's first principle, non-harming, right? So body, mind, and spirit. And so moving on, let's continue that same movement, moving down along the spine. So of course we know our spines matter. So I'd like to invite you to draw. So we're doing the thoracic, upper spine. Draw your chest in. So it's as if our sternum is moving to the back of our ribs. And then as ready, move your sternum forward and up. And so gentle warm up for our spine. So you might notice that as we practice this gentle movement, that on the inhale, as we lift our sternum, move it forward and up, that the hands naturally want to draw in towards our hips. On the exhales, we round our upper back, drawing our sternum in towards our spine, or back of our ribs. The hands slide away towards our knees. And so in your own time and rhythm, keeping this gentle warm up flowing. And so if the sliding of the hands along your thighs, if you're super duper sensitive, I'd like to invite you to explore moving energetically. So it might be that your hands are just floating above your thighs. Careful not to throw your head back. So we'll keep our head in line with our spine. So we practice these gentle movements. All right, so finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to neutral spine. And then when you're ready, we're going to come into a side bend. And so I'd like to invite you to reach one hand towards the earth, the floor, as if you're reaching to pick something up. If you'd like, you can hold on to the other side of the chair. So keep both sits bones on the chair. And so if it's helpful, imagine that you're seated between two panes of glass. So we want our shoulder lined up with shoulder and then moving dynamically. So from side to side. So it may feel good to inhale to one side, exhale to the other side. That said, if you are congested, if you have an obstruction, breathe in whatever way you can. And so you might find that as we warm up our spine, that these movements become a little more easeful. You're able to go a little deeper. I'm curious, can you hear the birds? Yeah, I'm so happy. They're hanging out with us today. It's the little things, the little birds. And slowly come on back to a neutral spine. Take a moment. And from here, we're going to come into a gentle twist. So I sometimes like to place my hands at the base of my spine. And so the way we do the twist, of course, we're not going to our full range of motion. We can begin by lengthening our spine and then twisting one vertebrae at a time, starting at the base of your spine to the side. And that hand slides in towards your hip. And then twisting from side to side in your own time and rhythm. So move in a way that feels natural for you. So natural that the movements and your breath become one. If for whatever reason moving with your breath doesn't feel comfortable, move in whatever way feels right for you. So this is your yoga practice. And then slowly come on back to neutral spine. Relax your arms by your side or on your lap, wherever feels most comfortable for you. And I'd like to invite you to take a moment to notice, is your breath still long and smooth and easeful? Notice any subtle sensations. So it's not going to be a rocket ship across the sky. Can you name the sensation? Is it energy? Fatigue? Maybe it's a hum that you feel moving along your spine that you didn't feel at the beginning of the class. So no right or wrong, no judgment. And so from here, let's continue with doing a little more work with our hands. So most of us use our hands more than we do our feet. And I'm feeling that my fingers are a little cool. So one of the ways we can warm up our hands, what my teachers taught me many years ago, is if we come into kind of a seated mountain, arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. Oh, darn. It's so weird. My iPad's saying that I have low battery. I might have to take this indoors in a few moments. But so arms up and then just open and close. Or if you want to shake your hands, of course, you're sitting up tall. So if your hands are cold, open and close, maybe reaching up a little higher. And release. So I'm just, I'm going to check the time. 12:27. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we won't get cut off. We should be able to go till about 1:45. I think when there's a little warning like that, I'm good for 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So we might forego our chit chat at the end today. And so, all right. Hands. All right. So I want you to tap your fingers. So air piano. Reach up a little higher if you'd like. And then when you're ready, push your hands away. Arms are as high or low as you'd like. Draw your hands back. Push your hands away. Draw your hands back. And so not only are we getting into all the joints in our arms here, we are also getting into those tight muscles, presumably for most of us, around our shoulder blades. So giving ourselves a little back massage. Push your hands away. Draw your hands back. And now when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to roll your wrists in one direction. And so sometimes as we're doing our practice, our mind has a tendency to wander off. And so know that that's the nature of our mind. And so if you notice that, good for you. And then in a loving way, a compassionate way, bring your awareness back to your movements, to your breath. And so I'd like to invite you to slow the movements right down. And to maybe even look at your hands in appreciation. And then roll your wrists in the opposite direction. And imagine, if it works for you, that you're moving your wrists, your hands through water. And then slowly come on back to stillness. I'll just take a moment. Oh. Yeah, I don't think this is going to last a whole lot longer, but any suggestions, Kassar? Should I go plug in or?
Yeah, that would be the best idea.
Pardon?
Yeah, just plug it in. That would be best.
Okay, so I'm outside. In the future, I'm going to make sure I have an extension cord and I'm plugged in the whole time. But I think I'm going to have to move us indoors. I'm not sure. So bear with me. I'm going to keep my iPad on. This is my Zoom room. Now you're going to see the indoor. And I gave the housekeeper the day off. So here we go. Bear with me, guys.
She'll come back. She should be here by now.
She kind of lives off the grid. Maybe she's looking for an electrical outlet.
Yeah. Like it looked like her iPad died while she was going in.
Yeah. Mm.
There we go.
Jeez. Oh my goodness, thanks everybody for your patience. So, yeah, I actually was locked out because we, after the first 10 minutes, people are not free to join. And so that was the glitch in addition to, wow, my iPad just died. So anyway, I'm sure we've all been down that road one way or another. And I appreciate your hanging in there. And so I want to make your hanging in there worthwhile. So let's, let's repose. Find a comfortable sitting position, do a little bum dance,
You
lift your
can
shoulder.
continue for a little longer time if you want.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Coster. Yeah, I have time today for sure to do that if folks are wanting. So always feels good, I think, to lift our shoulders up, back and down. And so lifting our shoulders up, back and down isn't meant to be a big scrunch towards our ears. Think of soft, organic movements. And a little shake out again. And then I think from here, let's come into a lovely practice where we're not only using our breath, movement, but also sound with our movements. So I love to explore the use of sound as a way to minimize pain. And so pain care, pain management, huge topic, bigger than I can address in this class. However, I know I'm singing to the choir when I say sound has a vibration. And so let's begin. I'll deconstruct a little. So I'd like to begin by reach your arm up in front of you. So no higher than in line with your shoulder. So if that feels a bit too high, just back off a little. Turn your palm face up. Extend your arm away from you. And then bring your arm back to the midline, center, palm face down, release. So other side, whatever we do on one side, we do on the other if possible. And of course, if you have a yoga buddy, it can help guide the movements, but not doing the work for you. Extend your arm away from you. On inhale, come back center, palm face down, release. So what I'd like to invite you to do, if it feels okay for you, for your neck, when we bring our arm out to the side, turn your gaze, turn a soft gaze looking just past your middle finger, and add the sound shh if you'd like. So the sound shh can help with tremors, can help with spasms. The other sound, invitation, possibility, if you'd like, is that when we lift our arm up, make the sound so, and then as you extend your arm away from you, hum. So come back, inhale, so, hum. So whatever works for you, I'm going to start by cueing the sound shh, and we'll see what happens here. And I'm indoors now, so I don't need to. So, yeah, pardon the mess, but do meet my friend Ganesh. Ganesh. Okay, so here we go. Reaching up. Spiral your palm open. If it feels okay for your neck, you're going to gaze past your middle fingers. You extend your arm away from you. Make the sound shh. On inhale, come back center. Palm face down, release. Other side, reach up, spiral your palm open. On exhale, shh. Inhale, come back center. Palm face down, release. This time, let's practice making the sound so hum with our movements. And so inhale, reach up, exhale, so, and back, hum. Actually, let's do it on the, as we reach our arm up. So, hum. Inhale, so, hum. So, hum. Inhale, so, hum. More time, other side, inhale, so, hum. So, hum. Nice. And a little shake out. And so, of course, all these practices are safe. So feel free to explore on your own what works for you. And so I think from there we'll move on and maybe get a little more movement in our arms. So arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, soft bend in your elbows. So broad through the collarbones, extend beyond your wrist, beyond your fingertips. Turn your palms face down. So rotate your thumbs are towards the earth, the floor. Rotate your palms up. Notice which feels better for you, palms down or palms up. Take your hands to your heart center. So it might be palms open or palms together. And then reach up to the sky. So gentle back arch. Take a look between your palms. Notice if they're facing each other. Then return your gaze on the horizon. And then maybe our hands come together in prayer. So whatever your expression of prayer pose is, down through to the heart. So bowing our head towards our heart gives us a little nerve flossing for our neck. So arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. So if you spiral your palms open before you reach up, you will always come to the right place for you. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up to the sky, gentle back arch, so bend from your shoulder blades. So sits bones sharp on the chair, feet on the earth. And maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. Place one hand on your belly, the other on your heart center. And maybe notice the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And then a little shake up. And so moving on, let's come into a side bend. So I'm just gonna tilt my iPad forward a little bit. So take hold of the underside of your chair. If you're a wheelchair user, I don't know, it might feel better to take hold of your wheel, whatever works for you. Extend your opposite arm out to the side. Spiral your palm open. And so for today, keeping both sits bones on the chair, I'd like you to take your hand to your shoulder, come into your side bend, turn your gaze down towards the floor to release your neck, and then breathe into your rib cage. Can you imagine breathing in below your rib cage? Come out of the pose on this side. And we'll come into it on the other side. So sit up tall, take hold of the underside of the chair, extend your opposite arm, spiral your palm open. So soft bend in the elbow, nothing rigid. Take your hand to your shoulder, come into your side bend, turn your gaze down towards the floor, breathe into your rib cage. And come out of the pose on this side. Nice. So a little shake up. So let's come into a gentle chest opener. So we are in, it's the springtime on the coast, and a lot of places now are transitioning from winter to fall. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but most of Canada, I think, is anyway. So often there can be cold season. And so we want to do what we can to strengthen our lungs. And so always a good idea to do lovely chest openers as well. So this is a meditation on the heart, gentle chest opener. And so I'd like to invite you to begin by taking your hands to your heart center. Palms open or palms together. Ditch my wristlets. If this placement of your hands makes you lose your balance, choose another placement for your hands. So it might be that it feels better to have your hands on your Buddha belly. And then as ready, on inhale, extend your arms up and away. So I feel good with my arms a little lower than my shoulders. You might feel great with your arms up higher or lower. Then making soft fists, take your hands back to your heart center or to your Buddha belly. And so inhale, so making soft fists, helpful if you have arthritis in your hands. And so in your own time and rhythm, keeping this gentle heart opener flowing. If you'd like, imagine the sun at your heart center. Now, on your inhales, as you extend your arms up and away, imagine the radiant light of the sun all around you, radiating out all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside. So it's a symbol of the light that's always inside us. Inhale. This time on your exhale, making a humming sound like a bumblebee. Inhale. So the bumblebee sound is a yogic breathing technique, and it lengthens our exhale. Inhale. Place one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And take a moment to feel the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. So, a little wiggly fidget. So I don't know if any of you have been around bees lately, but they're certainly waking up. I've had a few of them following me around. And so let's repose. So feet firmly planted on your footrest, foot plate, the floor, grounding through your feet. Spine is nice and long, and I want you to push down through one foot and then push down through the opposite foot. So it might be an energetic pushing down. Notice if you feel one foot more than the other. And then when you're ready, let's arms by your side, spiral your palms open, take your hands to your heart center, reach up to the sky, gentle back arch. So from here, we're going to come into a forward fold. So if you know that balance is a challenge for you, make sure you have whatever device you need to keep you stable in your chair. And so coming forward, a few choices. So it might be that you take hold of the underside of your chair. I like to sometimes have soft fists at my hips. So forward fold. Alternatively, it might be that you have a chair in front of you that you're able to place your hands on. I think some folks like to have maybe a rolled yoga mat along their belly. So walk your feet forward a little bit if that's helpful, chin in. And then when you're ready, pushing down through your inner heels, place one hand on each of your thigh, come on back up. So give yourself permission to move slowly between your poses and your movements. It's not a race. So really the yoga happens between the poses and the movements. So arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up to the sky, gentle back arch. Hinging from the hips, come into a forward fold. So it might be soft fists of your hips, maybe holding the underside of your chair. Maybe for some of you, it feels okay to bring your fingertips down to the floor. And then as you're ready, pushing down through your inner heels, place one hand on each of your thigh and come on back up. Nice. So arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up to the sky, gentle back arch. This time we're going to come into a side bend. So I think you can't see my hands there. So maybe begin by bringing hands into prayer. So your expression of prayer pose. Interlace your fingers. Turn your palms face up if that works for you. Keep your sits bones on the chair. Come into a crescent. Imagine a crescent moon. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Lift up a little higher if that feels okay for you. Come into the crescent shape on the other side. Form. Inhale, reach up and come out of the pose. Ooh. And feel your work. So I think, I'm not sure, I'll just check the time again. Oh, we're good. Is everybody doing okay? So I know some of you have to leave at noon, so we won't go much past that for sure. Or not noon, but 1 o'clock. So where should we go from here? Let's come into what I like to call a bear hug. So arms by your side, cross one arm over the other. And so it might be your elbows connect, hands on your shoulders. If it feels better for you, you can hug in, holding your elbow points. See if you can walk your fingers back a little more. Drop your chin towards your chest, let your shoulders round towards your front body. So this is an instance where it's okay to let your shoulders round. And I want you to imagine that you're giving yourself a huge bear hug. So this is bear hug number 1. Oh. Remember which arm is on top. And then as you're ready, extend your arms back out to the side. And then bear hug number 2. Cross the opposite arm over. Take hold, or on top. Take hold of your shoulders or wherever you can reach comfortably. Drop your chin towards your chest. Let your shoulders round. So bear hug number 2. This is an I love me bear hug. And then when you're ready, let's imagine as we extend our arms up and away that we're sending everyone near and far, lovely bear hug. And then float your arms down. So, let's actually, I think it would be nice to come into a seated twist. And so let's bring our hands again in prayer, lift your elbows, sit up tall. And if possible, if you want to bring your feet a little wider than outer hip bone distance, go for it. Knees are tracking over the ankles. It's okay to have your toes turned out a little. So we're sitting up nice and tall. Then I'd like you to inhale, lengthen your spine, and then take your elbow point down to your thigh. If you need a block, if you need to bring the thigh to you, place a block or some kind of riser on your lap. Lift your opposite elbow up towards the ceiling. Then I want you to turn your gaze looking up past your elbow, if that feels okay for your neck. Press into the palms of your hands. And then as you're ready, come on back, center, take a moment, and we'll come into this on the other side. So inhale, begin by lengthening your spine. And then on your exhale, take your elbow point to your thigh, lift your opposite elbow up. If it feels okay for your neck, turn your gaze looking up past your elbow. And maybe it feels better to keep your gaze on the horizon. And slowly come out of the pose on this side, arms by your side. And now let's rock and roll. So we stay in poses or we move dynamically. Reach up to the sky and then twist. Reach up and twist. Whoa. Reach up and twist. One last time, reaching up to the sky and twist. Awesome. Come on back to a neutral spine. And so twist, side bends, pretty intense spinal movement. So we need to realign our spine. And we can do that with the seated forward fold. That said, going into a deep version of a forward bend is contraindicated for folks if you have osteopenia, osteoarthritis, you might have something else going on with your spine. If you know it's contraindicated to go into the forward fold, please, in a deep way, please honor that. To my knowledge, for most people, it feels okay to take hold of the underside of the chair. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then hinging from the hips, coming forward a little. So let your head hang slightly to release the back of your neck, maybe not yes or no. And then breathe into your lower back. You might imagine that your lungs are in your lower back. So of course we can't place our lungs in our lower back. However, that said, energy flows where our thoughts and our breath go. And then slowly come out of the pose by pushing down through your inner heels. So maybe an energetic pushing down, one hand on each of your thigh. And come on back seated comfortably to transition into your final relaxation. And so find a comfortable sitting position. So if you would like a bit of weight on your thighs, a cushion, pillow, can feel lovely for some folks. A little bit of weight can encourage a grounding sensation. Doesn't work for everyone. And then an invitation to close your eyes softly, if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. So you might look downwards, 3 or 4 feet in front of you on the floor. And so soft palms, soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. Quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose. The serenity pose. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. Silently, if you like, on inhale, say let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. If it's challenging, quiet the mind, placing our hands on our Buddha belly, and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. Without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body. Thank your body again. And now see if you can begin to deepen the inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. rub the tips of your thumbs if you'd like or the tips of your fingers with your thumbs. And then come on up seated comfortably to finish your yoga practice. And so thank you, everyone. So notice how you feel before and after your yoga practice. Thank you to Kausar, my lovely tech host, connector in the Disability Foundation, for providing this awesome opportunity for us to practice yoga together. And so the teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. And my hope and wish and prayer for you is that you develop your own yoga practice. And yeah, with all these lovely yoga toys that I share with you on a weekly basis. So I'll hang out for a little bit if you'd like, and otherwise have an awesome rest of the day.
I want to say thank you to Connector and Bobbie. And Bobbie, I wanted to tell you that I'm finally taking the plunge, and I'm attending a workshop, well, not a silent meditation. I can't make it for the whole day, but for half a day at Cecil Green. And I was thinking, like, that would be something kind of neat that maybe you Connector could do with you. I don't know, like, I think it would be kind of neat to come over there and do something. I mean, it is for the whole day retreat, a silent meditation, it's $400.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, that like, at least where you are, Cecil Green's just a really expensive venue too.
Is just what?
It's an expensive venue at Cecil Green up at UBC.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I think it is beautiful. The gardens are gorgeous. Yeah, but I think the price is obviously related to the location. Yeah, it's expensive to rent Cecil Green, I'm sure, for a day. And there's a maximum number of people.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So, wow. I look forward to hearing about it, and I'm very happy for you. Sure.
Yeah.
Deserve
We'll
it.
see what happens. Yeah, I'm just taking baby steps at a time, but making progress. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to years ago, before I actually started meditation, and once the retreats and all that stuff was coming on my radar, I used to say, I just want to go to a retreat, to a meditation retreat where everybody shuts the F up.
Yeah, that's what it is. It really is. No, and their phones and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's like, well, anybody I've chatted with who's been to silent retreats, it can be really challenging. So, which is not a bad thing. It's, getting to a place where we're still in quiet.